All right. All right. Greetings. Welcome everyone to Dorsey's Resource 873, the new channel. Want to welcome everyone to Dorsey's Resource 873, the new channel. If you've already made it over here, I appreciate you. The title of this video is going to be Where I've Been Lately, question mark. Also, preparing for their next move. I wanted to discuss these things, let you all know I am still here. I know I've been gone a while, a little bit lately. If you have received the instructions already, then you know you're already over here. And I've been behind the scenes lately. I took a little break from some things that I've still been studying behind the scenes. For those of you all who know, there's very intense research has been unofficially, like I've been in unofficial college or school for a long time. Those that know about the redemption education that I studied and how the system is changing in regards to that, there's new information that is coming about. I am part of some particular Telegram rooms. Some of you all know, some of you all are not familiar with those Telegram rooms. Just like Clubhouse, you have many different types of web hosting platforms that are used to communicate, where people are able to build with one another and gain information. I didn't know about Telegram or how it worked. I used to hear about it a couple years ago. I was curious uh, when all the censorship was really amped up back around the 2020, you know what, when stuff was going down. I was hearing about it, but I didn't really understand how it worked. So recently, I consulted with a friend of mine who is very well studied. I commend his skill set, his abilities, his knowledge, and I asked him some things. I won't go into all the details about, but more or less some things historically. I asked him about. I was curious in comparison to pretty much what's going on in today's society, because a lot of people out there don't understand some of these things that we're dealing with are not, like, there's an old saying, if you're familiar with some of the older folks, elders used to say, there's nothing new under the sun. We've been through this before. There's a famous quote I learned in history class years ago, that those who do not learn from history can be condemned to repeat it, or something like that. Because a lot of things that are going on today have happened before. Even though the society that we live in currently, we have more advanced technology. We are already in the future now. By the way, many don't realize we are in the future. And I took a little bit of notes here just to give you all a heads up. You can do your own homework. But flying cars are already here, just like, the cartoon Jetsons from some years ago. Some of you all may be aware, but there's a lot of people who are naive to the fact, understanding when people they'll label conspiracy theorists will bring out things that talk about they have technology that can control the weather. If you've ever heard of HARP before, that's an acronym for High Auroral Active Research Project. There's a guy I met many years ago who told me about scalar technology, which was separate. I did my own research and found out DARPA is connected, a secret government agency. DARPA is an acronym for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, by the way, in case you don't know. And I actually saw evidence some years ago when I was looking at a particular channel involving a hurricane or different hurricanes that were taking place. I saw their logo on an Air Force plane. And I said, "Ooh, wow." I pieced some things together, and I remember talking to my source many years ago prior to this. It's like over a decade ago. And that hurricane I was looking at, it's been some years since that's happened. We're talking maybe 3 to 5 years from now currently. When I saw this, I was looking at, probably, I believe it was the Weather Channel at the time. And so I had some revelations, by the way, but there's some that say they don't understand. We are already in the future as we speak. If you don't understand, flying cars are already here. You can do your own research on it. They'll be rolling out in the near to distant future. Notice I said near to distant future. But understand, there's some things that we are dealing with, so you all will have an idea. Everything is not a conspiracy theory. So understand that. We are, just want to give you all understanding when I go over some of the type of information. But I also titled this video, Preparing for Their Next Move, because as I previously discussed, whether you're involved with the wealth transfer information or if you're into prepping survival, I know I have some subscribers who are into prepping survival, emergency preparedness, by the way, even though I don't really focus a lot on that in particular. There's channels that out there we know that are dedicated to that type of information, but I say you should be well-rounded, and I suggest you should be aware of what is coming down the pipeline because of what, the Kabbalists, the ruling class, the evil ones are planning for us. We know they don't have our best interest at heart. They have nefarious intentions. It's my goal to get the information out to you all like a watchdog group as a researcher, and using my skill set, my abilities to warn you all as far as what's coming, and speaking from experience, and just have an idea. Just because I don't make predictions down to specific days, but we know the hour is now. The hour is close. Some may say biblically, not trying to get religious on you all, but some say we're in the last days. But we know the hours have been close. Some could say we've been in the last days for a while. So people say, well, I haven't seen nothing happen yet, Dorsey. What really, okay, if you pay attention to past events, we have had different things that have happened. But, it still has yet to be seen. So just because something may not occur doesn't mean that it's not. We know it's a matter of not what if, but just a matter of when. I had a friend that told me about these meetings he used to attend some years ago. He invited me to one of them some years ago, and he mentioned how everybody at these particular meetings had a different theory on what they thought how things were going to happen. Like, not trying to say how the world was going to end or Armageddon. There were different theories what was going to take place. And the head leader of the particular group just told everyone, and it made practical sense. It was very practical. He said, we all can agree that we know something is coming, but we may not know exactly what is going to come from the different theories that are thrown out there. But what we all could agree on, we all know that something is coming. That we can agree. And if we can agree to disagree, but I think we all can agree that we know something is coming. To keep it simple. Because of that, we know something is coming. This is why it's essential to prepare for what could potentially happen in different scenarios. One of the main things we know, the globalists, aka ruling class elite, they want to cut off the food supply. They've done different things. If you don't understand, you won't get this from the mainstream media. Understand the dinosaur media, the CNN, the MSNBCs, will not give you in-depth information. Always cross-reference. Pay attention to the independent media. Now, I'm not saying don't watch the mainstream media, because I still watch them from time to time because I want to know what they're up to, by the way. So still, just understand the mainstream media, especially the economists I'm finding out, are the globalist talking points, by the way. I read the articles, I see the reports, by the way, but just understand they are not going to necessarily. Now, sometimes nowadays they're trying to pretend because they know they're losing viewers, subscribers, or people are not believing them as much. They also are doubling down in their efforts. In some instances, you have people that work for these agencies that can be sincere, and remember, they're just following orders, by the way. But they don't, or they may not know from real high up what's actually going on. But when you follow the independent media, not trying to tote my horn, whatever, you'll know. Sometimes you'll get to a point you'll understand better than they do, and if you study history, you'll be able to even predict moves sometimes and know what their next moves are up to. Those who are very, very well studied. I'm not saying the average person will have that skill set yet, but it can be acquired. And as I warned you guys, get on other platforms, web hosting platforms, such as Rumble, Brighteon.com. That's Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. They have Brighteon TV. Many of these platforms have video web hosting platforms attached to them. Gab.ai is another one. They also have Gab.tv. And these are, by the way, these are not conspiracy theory platforms. These are not right-wing platforms. Not saying you don't have some of those things on there, but don't let the mainstream media throw you off or spook you away, as they like to do. You have all sorts of people. Many of these platforms, understand, are not heavily censoring you like the YouTubes or the Facebooks or the Instagrams of the world. So you have other options in case you have a big following. You can transition your following over there. So you have better free speech or the ability to demonstrate whatever it is that you're into or whatever you want to warn the people on these other independent web hosting platforms. And you have other versions that are similar to the Twitters of the world or the Facebooks that can help assist you in that, by the way. So keep that in mind. You have many options. There's many web hosting platforms. To name some other ones out there, you have Gettr, Gettr. It's like another version of Twitter. You have Frank Speech. That's another version. You have Truth Social. I'm on Truth Social, by the way. I'm maybe not as active over there, but I do from time to time will repost the links to my videos over there after I record, either the right after the following morning, or if it's during the day, not too long shortly after, I'll post them on a few other platforms I'm on. I'm also on Minds.com. Minds.com and Truth Social, by the way. I do have a Rumble account. Once again, the US, many of you already know, I have to work on uploading more videos over there as a backup. And then what I plan on down the road, just have to build the momentum up. And, you know, I have to write, I take notes from my videos in case you guys don't know, by the way. I put a lot of thought when I, even these short videos that are like impromptus that I do, like currently right now, these impromptu videos, I take short notes, I freestyle much of the content, the information for you all as a content creator. But I have some things in the works that I'll be able to go more in depth on those other platforms. I said I don't want this channel to be the same old, by the way, but I have gotten around. I have some other things, some other topics that I would like to cover, empowering information, to give you all an idea. When I put reviews in the description, I also like to talk about over here things that, you know, can help you, empower you with health, you know, dealing with emergency preparedness, or, you know, gear from hiking, different things, basics, tips and stuff like that I can talk about on this channel. I don't want it to necessarily be like exactly like the same as my other channel that you all know what happened with, by the way. So I'm acknowledged we have Bianca Lagordo says, hi, Dorsey, favor upon you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining, by the way. So this is also about where I've been lately. Once again, I have just wanted to give you all a heads up. I've been studying. I was in some very good meetings last week. Kind of took a break the first couple days, a few days of this week. I haven't been on Telegram at all. I do log out, but I'm in some different groups on there. I won't say the names of those groups or go into details, all the details, but those of you all that know that I have mentioned in my studies, independent studies, and I'm also independently working on things in my own personal life with the information that I already have. And I would like to do some videos over on this channel in relation to it, but you know, that may take some time. So you guys, just to give you all a heads up, that may take me some time. And I've also been dealing with my job. I still do punch a clock. Unfortunately, I still do work a 9 to 5 job, by the way. And then in some instances, that has interfered with my other studies because my schedule has changed unpredictably. It'd be such a joyous occasion when I am finally in a position to be able to completely leave. It'll be such a wonderful, joyous occasion. Had I made the right moves, I was really close some years ago, a few years ago. If I could go back in time and talk to myself, it's damn near guaranteed that I would have been gone by now. I almost quit too, by the way. I did almost quit. Only reason, to be honest with you all, I'm still here. I was offered a proposal. I mentioned this to you all on my other channel a while back, with a higher raise and no pay. But I'm not completely satisfied with my schedule and totally the way that I'm being treated. But at the same time, I will say I'm grateful for what I do have because I have tested the landscape and I've worked in other areas. Those of you all, if you remember, if you've had to work a 9 to 5 job before, if you're not an entrepreneur or don't own your own business, and you remember what it's like, you understand or overstand if you used to do those things. Well, I am planning, attempting to plan an exit strategy, by the way. And it's going to take some work. It's no joke because especially what what the ruling class, the evil ones, are up to. And that's why I've had to double down in my other studies and information and things, because you can't always expect other people to necessarily come through to be able to assist you or to help you out. You have to, sometimes you have to double down and put in the work and put in the effort. But it can be done. I remain positive about it, optimistic at the same time, but very positive. And that is what I have been dealing with lately, just to give you all a heads up why sometimes I haven't done videos during the day, sometimes because I'm on this partially night shift, evening to night, by the way. I don't get off till a certain time in the morning. I'll be tired at times, but I am attempting to also do things to preserve my health-wise. There's other areas where I have to make sure I get adequate rest. So with my schedules fluctuating, my off days changing, and the job, because I'm a supervisor now, it can be very demanding at times. Even though it's interesting, my operations manager is claiming that my job is easy. It's interesting. I have a question. I say, if my job was easy, then how come you all can't keep people here to work my specific position? I'm not talking about separately for some of their other accounts for the schools, because that seems real easy to me. I've done that before. When I was helping out another security company, which I still have ties from, and I've actually gotten offers from several other companies, even one in particular that offered a little higher pay, by the way. Just putting it out there. But it's mighty funny when they try to, want to have leverage over you. They say, oh, your job is easy. Okay, well, you guys will surely miss me, because as I explained to a friend of mine, I know what my value is with my worth. And I don't think you guys, they'll be able to find or be able to replace the type of employee that I am at this level, for what I'm capable of doing, what I'm able to do. And yeah, I don't think they'll be easily able to find that. I'm from the old school, traditional. I'm one of a kind. So I don't think they'll be able to find, because I had a talk with another supervisor, and come to find out, allegedly, he was telling me that I'm the only one that works this. It's like they treat the schools, basically, their other accounts as priority. So I said, okay. And they're trying to say, okay, if my position was easy, but I asked the question once again, if my position was so easy, then why can't you find people consistently to work my specific position? And I say that, and I look at a lot of other companies out there as well. It's just something to keep in mind, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to let you guys know that some of the things that I've been dealing with behind the scenes. I wanted to give you guys more content, more videos, but to give you all a heads up for what's coming, what I potentially have planned for this channel that I would like to discuss and go over. But also preparing for their next move. One of the things I suggest is storing up food, getting access, looking at meal prepping. By the way, in terms of emergency preparedness, look at dehydrated meals. They're not necessarily MREs, meals ready to eat, similarly, but look into dehydrated meals, stuff like that. In case here something major happens, grocery stores can be wiped out in a matter of days, by the way. And if it's really bad, trucks won't necessarily be coming in, especially if it's a power outage on a massive level that lasts a significant portion of time, by the way, or electrical grid is knocked out, by the way. And, you know, they'll have a boogeyman. They'll be blaming this on. This is potentially, not saying that it's going to happen in this event. And some of these things are related to potential EMP strike, or look up the Carrington event, what that was some years ago, or what EMP, or if they claim that it's a cyber attack. Notice they'll try to claim they could, you know, the narrative, the news, the so-called mainstream media, just be prepared. They're going to have a boogeyman. So they're going to try to say it's either sovereign citizens, it's right-wing, it's Trump supporters. They're going to create some type of boogeyman, or they're going to say it's the Russians did it. That's just like if they plan, if it's nuclear war or attack, they'll say, you know, just saying we don't know for sure, but these are different narratives they're going to already have prepared. They're going to run with to give you guys a heads up. So when it happens, you know they were behind it. But they'll say things like it was potentially the Russians are to blame. They also have, when I brought up natural disasters, the deep state, the evil ones, the Kabbalists, they also have this trick up their sleeve. I went over earlier what HARP is. Look up HARP, Higher Rural Active Research Project Agency. Also look up Scalar Technology, which is separate. Look up Scalar, directed energy weapon. Because that's why I went over about we are in the future. Flying cars are already here and will be rolling out in the near to distant future. Look up DARPA. DARPA, Artificial Intelligence. DARPA is an acronym for a secret government agency that stands for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. I was hearing allegedly DARPA is credited whenever the blood is drawn from a newborn baby in the hospitals is sent to a secret database that DARPA stores and has in a secret government database. Because I was thinking some years ago when I was watching an episode of former Governor Jesse Ventura had a show, you remember, on True TV called Conspiracy Theory, and they did an episode called Targeted Individuals. And it was people, they were basically saying that they either used to work for the government or they exposed something and they became targeted as a result. And I was thinking to myself, I said, well, how is it, and this is my own thinking, I was just brainstorming, and I was curious. I said, how are these people targeted? Some of them would say when they would go by electrical grids or things, towers and stuff, they would start getting sick or they would get a certain feeling. And I said, how would the globalists or these people behind the curtain, how would they be able to target these people like that? And I started really thinking hard, and I started connecting some dots and connecting some pieces together. And I have a theory I came up with. And I said, I don't know if this is the case, but this theory I talked to a couple of friends seems practical, that it's possible. And I said, well, my friends I used to listen to, my spirituality friends, I called them years ago. One of them, I was just informed, moved, left the States and went over to Israel, by the way. But I'm still in contact with my other friend that he was connected to. And I used to hear them talk and tell them I used to listen to them some years ago. We used to meet at Panera Bread, and they helped open my eyes to the really deep aspects of the Kabbalists and what they're into, and understanding how they use charts and stuff and how they operate allegedly and secretly behind the scenes, and they're ritualistic and the numerology, gematria and stuff like that. So They talked about the blood sacrifices, the rituals and stuff. And I also read, when I read David Icke's books, I was able to help connect the dots. So when I was wondering how these individuals were targeted from this episode I saw many years ago on Jesse Ventura's show on True TV called Conspiracy Theory, and I was thinking, I said, DARPA, if they're able to draw the blood of every newborn baby or get that information secretly from the hospitals as mandatory or whatever, just like the birth certificate situation, which I won't touch on that. Some of you already know. And they put this in a secret database. And I said, well, they're going to know that specific individual's DNA. They're probably going to do their astrological chart. And since I learned about the I know more about the Western chart. I learned more in depth, but I also learned about the Eastern chart. And there's other charts out there. That's how they were able to probably tune these directed energy weapons or frequencies to affect or target these specific individuals, because they knew their birthday and they had their DNA by taking their blood when they were born and stored in a secret database. So the deep state, it appears as though these intelligence agencies, which we know by whistleblowers, have become weaponized. And this is how they're targeting certain Americans. People are being censored behind the scenes. Remember when Elon purchased Twitter, and I heard behind the scenes there's a group allegedly trying to come after him, by the way, because he, remember the Twitter files, when it was released and people were able to get access to that information, became declassified. And some of the information showed how Katie Hobbs was working to sabotage, working with the government. And it came out the Biden administration had done things, and they found out this was illegal for the government to collaborate like this with social media tech giants. And this is major violations of other laws, not just antitrust laws. Because remember, Amazon got in trouble recently with antitrust laws. I think Apple needs to be investigated heavily. Google needs to be investigated. Facebook, aka Meta, which purchased Instagram, by the way, and owns other things. These big, I call them big tech bullies, by the way. And so this information came out. We know this to be a fact. This is declassified now. You know about the Twitter files. A lot of the independent media reported on it, but you won't, of course, if you did see it in the mainstream, I don't know if the mainstream media, I can't say if they did, they try to dismiss this stuff as conspiracy theory, but it's not. It is real. This actually happened. And it showed that Katie Hobbs had worked with to try to sabotage Kerry Lake's campaign, things of that sort. So this showed how deeply embedded people were alleging this. So the facts came out. This showed the receipts. So they were upset, or certain groups were mad at Elon, or the groups that expose this information. Even though I heard Twitter is still censoring people, it's not totally free speech like some of the other platforms. It has its flaws out there, I hear, but it's gotten better than what it used to be. Used to be really, really bad. And that's what the Twitter files exposed. In case you all don't know, you haven't heard it, but check with the independent media. If you all don't believe me, check with the credible people out there. Stu Peters show, Alex Jones' site, band.video, check with madmaxworld.tv, his independent host. If you're unaware, if you want the receipts, as Don Borgino says, a former Secret Service agent, if you want the receipts or the facts on what I'm going over, I suggest make your own assessment. Normally, I give a disclaimer. This video is for educational, informational, entertainment purposes only. This is not to be construed as legal advice. I encourage everyone to please do his or her own homework and research into the matter being discussed. So just keep that in mind, by the way. It's not legal advice. Do your homework, I suggest. But that's from my research, by the way. So with that being said, I'm going to shut things down. Just wanted to do this quick video here, let you all know where I've been lately, and also preparing for their next moves, what's potentially coming down the road, by the way. We got Christy Abel says, face red heart shape. Okay. We have Abby Adama says, my brother, great to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining. Says, how you been, brother? Good, been good. Thank you for asking. Says, unbelievable times on the horizon. Yes, they are. Indeed. Well, thank you all for joining. I went above my time. I just wanted to come before you all to let you all know I'm still here. I have some stuff planned, but I wanted you all to be aware of. Just keep your eyeglasses on for these next potential moves they could be making. Some of the basic things you can do: purchase silver, look into emergency preparedness, get your preps up, double down, dehydrated meals. Remember, grocery stores can be wiped out in a matter of days. These are basic things. You saw what happened when the pandemic started with toilet paper, things you can look up essential items to get, look up top essential items. There's a lot of information on that. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm going to shut things down. Thank you all for joining me. Until next time, take care. You all have a blessed, wonderful morning. Take care. Peace.